Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from the Fandom, the podcast that brings a special guest out of the multiverse and straight to you. Today's episode is brought to you by In the Reads. In the Reads provides beautiful, affordable artwork of the vibrant worlds found within your favorite books, TV, and films. From all wood bookmarks featuring illustrations and quotes from such fandoms as Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, Outlanders, and more, to fantasy and real-life maps drawn in the style of Tolkien. Go to inthereads.com and check out what is available. Like something? Use code TALES10 at checkout to get 10% off your order. A link will be in the show notes along with the code. And now, let's get to the episode. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Tales from the Fandom. It is the month of August. We're in it to win it. I don't understand how we're still here, but here we are. And I have a special guest joining me today. I have Tara, but you may know her off of Instagram or TikTok as CosplayWithTLC. Tara, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm so excited that you said yes, and you're coming on the podcast. I've been in love with some of your stuff that you've had on Instagram ever since it was shared.
Thank you.
And I love it. I love it. Is the Encanto Tia Pepe or Tia Peppa?
Yeah.
And I was like, someone had shared that. I was like, oh dang, like you're really hitting it close on the lookalike there.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually got a compliment from my brother who said he told me that, like, out of all of the cosplays that I've ever done, that's the one that I look the most like. And I was like, awesome. It's also one of the easiest ones I've ever put together. So thank you.
I bet that makes it a lot easier because, totally comfortable too, I imagine.
Yeah, the dress is from Target and it has pockets. And so, like, I didn't have to make anything. And then, like, the little bandana thing that she has in her hair, I just had a scrap of fabric laying around that was, like, sort of the same color. So I was like, this works. And then I just ordered some earrings off of Amazon and we were good to go.
I was going to be impressed if you just happened to have those earrings laying around.
I wish, like, honestly, like, it came in like a set of them and I've used those like for just everyday wear after that, and I always get complimented on them, and I'm like, man, I wish I'd had these like for a long time before this. So but like they're definitely my style, so like it feels like they should have been part of my wardrobe before.
And now here it is, full circle.
Yep.
Now we've got a number of different fandoms we're going to be talking about in this episode today, and we're going to kick things off with one of the I guess, like, one of the bigger ones, one of the ones where it's like movies and TV shows and all sorts of stuff, including theme parks, and that is Disney.
Yay!
Now, everyone's different. Everyone gets into Disney their own way, whether it's like watching the movies as a kid or TV shows, Disney Channel, going to the theme parks. Like, what was your first experience with Disney that you can remember?
So I have always been a big Disney fan. The first experience with Disney things that I can remember is I have an older brother, and when he was in school and I was not in school yet, that's what my mom and I would do while he was at school. Is my mom would like throw on a Disney movie for me every single day. And so I got to pick the movie, and I think it was like this will make her be quiet so I can get stuff done time. But like while my brother was gone and I didn't have anybody to play with, then like my mom would let me pick a Disney movie every day. And I remember being like a small child, like, filtering through our VHS tapes, dating myself, and like getting to pick one out every day. And sometimes I'd pick like the same one every day for months on end, but that's just how kids are. So, but I've been a fan of Disney ever since, and my mom is a big Disney fan too, so like we've always been into like watching the movies together. And then when I got older, I actually worked for Disney for a little bit, so that just fueled the fire, as it were. And more recently, like as an adult, I still love watching all of the Disney animated movies when they come out, but I've been a little bit more into like the shows, like Gravity Falls and Owl House, Star versus the Forces of Evil. And one of my friends recently recommended Amphibia, so that's the newest one that I'm going to start watching. So that's like next on my list.
Your background sounds very familiar to mine. I clearly remember because my mom used to tell me all the time. She's like, I knew all the words to Pete's Dragon because you would watch that like 2 or 3 times a day for months on end. It'd be like once the movie was over, it'd be like time to rewind it and start it again.
Yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned Pete's Dragon because that's like one of the only like original Disney movies that I haven't seen.
Dun dun dun.
I know. There's only like a handful, and that's one of them.
It's definitely a movie like, and I say this with like total nostalgia goggles because I haven't seen it recently. I probably haven't seen it in like 30 years, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's just it did things with animation and live action that really I don't think had been done back then, and I think like that's the cool thing of it all.
Yeah, because it's like a early '60s movie. Is that right? Or like
think so,
roughly the same time period as like Mary Poppins and like Bedknobs and
right,
stuff.
right around there, I think.
Yeah, because that's when they were like just starting to do like animation plus live action together.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned some of those shows that you're watching because our children and I, thanks to this podcast, had been recommended a number of different TV shows, and we just finished Gravity Falls, and we're on the second season of the Owl House.
I'm also on the second season of Owl House. I am always behind on shows because my husband works a lot, and like we like to watch a lot of shows together, so I always have to wait on him. Mm-hmm. How dare he? It's fine. But I'm often behind on shows because like I'm waiting for him to have time so that we can watch it together because I'd rather watch it with him than by myself. But I am like 2 or 3 episodes away from finishing like the latest drop of season 2 because they dropped like 10 episodes and then they dropped like 10 more. So we're not quite 100% caught up on like this next arc of the story on Owl House, but we're getting there.
Yeah, I think
am super hyped for season 3.
Yeah, we're only a few episodes in. We just finished season 1, not yesterday, the day before, I think. By the time this episode comes out, hopefully we'll be done with the series.
Yeah, hopefully I will be too.
But what is it like? Because you mentioned Owl House, Gravity Falls, Star vs. Force of Evil. What is it about those shows that draws you to them? Because they're not. I don't want to say that they're not like ordinary Disney, but they're not ordinary Disney.
Yeah. So I think like the first like animated Disney Channel show that I like got really into was Phineas and Ferb. And I think that and like that one doesn't really have anything to do with like the other shows because I feel like they're different creator teams and like all that stuff. But there was just something about like the humor in Phineas and Ferb that was just like, it is my niche. Like it is niche, but it is my niche. And like, I feel like Gravity Falls and Owl House and Star like are in that same kind of humor. And like I like those ones a little bit more than Phineas and Ferb now. Like that time has passed because they're not like episodic where like everything follows a formula. And there's like an overarching story, and like I love like a show where you can get like real into it, and like things change from episode to episode, and it's not just like kind of mindless entertainment. But no offense to Phineas and Ferb, I still treasure that show very deeply, and like Dan Povenmire's on TikTok, and I love watching him. But the first one of those that I watched was Gravity Falls because one of my best friends recommended it to me, and I was like, you know what? Let's watch it, because I'd seen like bits and pieces of it like on TV when it was coming out, but like I never like sat and like watched all of the episodes until they were on streaming. But I watched those probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and me and my husband were just like hooked immediately because like it's hilarious and like it's better. I think that there's better comedy in like Gravity Falls and Star and Owl House than there is in like the comedy shows that they market to adults. But I think it's just like, I don't want to say that they're like better written humor, but like they don't rely on like, like sex jokes to make like a joke. And so I feel like the jokes are like a little bit more like they're better thought out. And then like I just really like adorable characters, and like Mabel is so cute, and Waddle's like, how can you say no? And then like we started watching Owl House, and at first we were a little bit annoyed by Hootie But then he just grows on you so much. And like episode 1, my husband and I were just like, okay, King is just the best, because we have a black cat, and like she's kind of sassy. And so anything that like resembles a black cat in any way, we're like, oh my God, it's Stella. That's our cat. And so we're like, yeah, that's how she would be if she could talk. So we just like kind of immediately fell in love with that one. And then I swore up and down when we started watching Star that I wasn't going to cosplay from it, because I was like, yeah, she's really cute, whatever, like it's fine. And I was doing good until season 3 came, and then she had a narwhal dress, and I just like have a thing for narwhals. So I was like, I can't not do it. Like it's right there. So I had to. But I just really like, I think they're so cute, and like, you know, they're like nice feel good entertainment, and like it doesn't matter what kind of a day I had, I can always watch it and like be like happy. And like sometimes they get you like in your feels, but like, you know, they're usually like upbeat.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like we had been recommended, I'd heard about Gravity Falls for years. Like
Yeah.
it is always something that came up. I'd heard people talking about it, but no one like ever really went into it of like, it's what's this, like this is what it's about. That like I didn't really know anything. And then
Yeah,
finally,
same.
yeah, and a guest had told me, you know, this is like she went into detail about like what it's all about, and I was like, this sounds like a show that, because we watch shows as a family together, and it's like, this sounds like a show the family would love to watch, and we really got into it, like to the point that we're thinking whenever we eventually go back to doing conventions, of cosplaying like a family cosplay of Gravity Falls characters.
You should absolutely do that, and please send me pictures if you do, because that sounds amazing. I love it when people do like group Gravity Falls cosplays, and like Gravity Falls is also one of like the easiest shows to cosplay from, because like all of the characters wear like, you know, very standard clothes, and so like you can thrift for that stuff. Like that was Mabel was one of the first cosplays that I did, and because I went with 2 of my friends to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Disney as Mabel, Dipper, and Seuss. And so, and we were able to like thrift for pretty much like those whole costumes. Like I think I ordered my sweater, and then like I made the little patch on it, but everything else we either like got at like a thrift store or like Walmart. So it's like super easy and cheap. If like, you know, you're not sure what to do, or you have like last minute for cosplay, like those ones are great.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at your pictures on Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like I know my daughter would be Mabel, and one of my kids would be Dipper, and then one would be Seuss, and I know I'd be Grunkle Stan.
Yes.
And then I think my wife would probably be Wendy.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Wendy is like probably like one of the like easiest costumes. Like everything for my Wendy cosplay I already owned. And I like, other than the hat, I had to get the hat, but I found one at a thrift store, and I was just like, boom, done.
There it is. And you know, just out of curiosity, Gravity Falls, who's your favorite character on that show?
Probably Mabel. I just think she's like hilarious, and like she does like when you're watching the show, like she like actively gets in Dipper's way, and like it does sometimes it kind of annoys me that she like I think that Dipper is like a better sibling to her than she is to him, but like that's kind of the same relationship that me and my brother have, where like my brother is very responsible, and like he like knows how to get things done, and like he's always like been there and been very supportive for me, and then I'm just like chaotic and covered in glitter. So like I think I just like relate to her. Like me and my brother are not twins, but like, you know, I just feel like we have like a similar sibling relationship, so I like her. And then Waddles is so cute.
Oh yeah, that just what she goes through to have Waddles, like
Yes.
that's dedication right there.
Right? And then like the episode where Waddles almost gets eaten, like just like it's so sad.
Yeah, it is. And now with Owl House, like I want to jump to your comment about Hootie, because I had the same
Yeah.
opinion. Like I was like this is over the top. Like
Yeah, and
I
like
I couldn't deal with Hootie for a little bit.
yeah, the first couple episodes, it's just like, because you know how like some shows, especially kids shows, like they have like the comedic relief character who's just annoying.
Hmm.
Like I thought that's what Hootie was gonna be, but then like he just grows on you, and like I saw a Hootie cosplayer at the last convention that I went to, and it was like a dude in a like gray sweatsuit with a paper plate that was painted like Hootie's face, like taped over his face. And I was like, that is like the most low effort yet 100% in character cosplay of Hootie I have ever seen. Because if Hootie was going to make a cosplay, that's what it would look like. And I was like, sir, like 100% props. This is amazing.
We just finished I guess in the second season with Lilith, and their relationship was something that caught me off guard about
Yeah.
like how, like, because it started off totally one way, and the way that it ended up is just
It's
so
actually sweet.
different and sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
I also like Hootie's little like travel backpack. It's just so stupid, but I love it. Yeah.
I hope that we learn more about Hootie, because I feel like that there's something more that we're going to learn about him.
Yeah.
And I love lore, and I love like background stuff. So we just saw like the King episode where he goes to his castle, and I'm like, oh, this is good. Like, give me more of this. I like this.
Yeah, I would like to know like Hootie's origin story, and like because like you know technically he is like the like title character, like he is the Owl House because he's the owl. Well, maybe he says he's a worm, but you know he's like he is the house. So
Hmm.
I'm wondering like what else there is to that story, and I'm also interested in getting like the lore and stuff. I think that's another thing that I just really like about like that genre of Disney shows is like there's so much lore.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that with these shows in particular, the ones that you've named off, and I know Amphibia is like this as well, because
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I have enough people in my circle that are watching it, and they're going through it and posting about it. And I love that we're getting these animated shows akin, and I throw it back to like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where
Hmm.
they're not talking down to kids. They're just telling stories and letting the kids keep up with it and be at
Yeah.
that level with it.
Yeah, and like I think that's like one of the things that I like best about these shows is that like they're just as enjoyable for adults to watch as they are for kids. And like you mentioned, you watch them with your whole family, so like, you know, that's probably great, like that you guys can all watch the same show together and enjoy it equally.
Yeah, it is nice to have shows where like because I know that as a kid my parents most likely suffered through watching some shows and movies with me, and it's
Oh
nice
yeah.
that there are shows and movies where I don't feel like I'm suffering and I'm getting
Yeah,
like
and
the
you can
same
like enjoy
enjoyment.
them as much like with your kids, and then like, you know, you guys can talk about them, and it's not just like your kid like, you know, like talking on for hours about like something that you're not interested in. It's something that you guys have like a mutual interest in and can like actually enjoy together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now, before we move off of Disney to the
Yes.
next topic, I do want to mention everyone that listens knows that I send out like this email about like favorite fandoms and underrated things and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. And I want to mention that you and I line up with a Disney movie, and I'm calling it out because I cannot
Which one is it?
not talk about it.
Tell me.
Atlantis. I love Atlantis, and
I
it's
love Atlantis.
underrated. If it had come out a few years later, it'd be a huge hit.
Right?
If it had come out now, people would be like all over it for the steampunk like vibes.
Yeah.
Where's our like live? Where's our TV show? Where's our live
Right?
action?
Yeah,
like
like
dark,
Disney keeps
gritty
doing like
steampunk
these
live
like
action.
live action remakes of stuff that nobody wants, and it's like, you know what would make a fantastic live action remake? Atlantis. I wish they really should do like a live action TV show of or an animated one. I've been loving animated Disney lately, so like I would take it either way, but I would love like an Atlantis like series, because like speaking of things with lore, like Atlantis, like the lore runs deep, and I would really like to see like, you know, more of like that world and that story, and like you know, they just kind of like the way that the movie ends, it's like there's so much more that they could talk about, and all of the characters, like that was like one of like the first Disney movies to have a really diverse cast, and like, you know, they also have like a bunch of different like very interesting personalities, and they all come from like really interesting different backgrounds, and like, you know, I just really enjoyed that part of Atlantis, and it was very entertaining to me as a kid, and like I think that that's one of the things that's really nice about Atlantis, is that like there are so many different characters. It's like a massive cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is definitely one of those movies. Every time somebody brings it up, it's like I've got to at least like mention it, because one day, please, it will come back, or I will have merch to buy or something.
This is like a really specific thing about Atlantis, but do you remember when the movie came out, there was an Atlantis breakfast cereal?
I don't remember that.
And it had like, you know how there's like the Atlantean language?
Yeah.
It was like a chocolate cereal, and it had like the letters from the Atlantean language like in the cereal pieces.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's like a very random like thing that lives in my brain. So you're welcome.
And I'm looking it up right now. That is awesome. And where are my diving subs? Because apparently they came in the cereal box, and those are awesome. So I need them. I'm gonna have to eBay. I'm gonna go check on eBay afterwards.
I think that because it was. Was there like toys that came in the cereal box?
Yeah, six different sub designs.
Maybe
like,
that's where, because I had one of those like years ago, but I couldn't remember if it came from the cereal box or from, I thought McDonald's did a run of toys from Atlantis also when the movie came out, but or maybe Burger King or something, but I feel like I remember having like a little plastic like version of like the sub, and the Leviathan too.
Yes, there's 6 different things, so I'm gonna have to like look these up.
Yeah.
But, and I, as a kid of the 80s, I miss like the great, awesome like Disney merch that you used to get from McDonald's. Like, where's my cool actual glasses?
Yeah.
You know, or
yeah, like
or
I feel like McDonald's toys now are kind of lacking, because like I actually went to McDonald's a few times because they had a like Disney toy thing for the 50th anniversary of Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
But like they weren't that great, and I was kind of disappointed. But I was also like an adult buying a Happy Meal. So.
Yeah, when we buy adults for the kids, it's like, oh gosh, like what junk toys are they going to give you? Because they're nowhere near the quality that we used to get.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Now we're going to shift from Disney to your next fandom that we're going to talk about, which again, Disney's been around for a long time. This company has been around for a long time. We're going to talk Nintendo.
Yay, my favorite video game company.
Now, when, which system did you get your start?
So I first got into Nintendo with Pokemon. So my brother and I were into like the Pokemon show, and like collecting the cards. And then because we were so into like Pokemon, my parents got us Game Boy Colors, and we each got Crystal version for the Game Boy Color. So that was like my first ever video game and video game system. And then several years later, like I didn't get like a console game system until I was like, I don't know, like 9 or 10. So most people in like my age group grew up with the N64. But because I didn't get a console gaming system until I was a little bit older, my first console game system was the GameCube. Nice. And the first game that I had for that was the Legend of Zelda Collector Disc, which had, I think, both like the original Zelda NES game and the like Legend of Zelda 2 on it. I don't know. I didn't play those ones on there, but and it had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and then like a trial thingy for Wind Waker, and it was all on one GameCube disc. And I played like most of Ocarina of Time, but I didn't beat it. But I watched my brother play it, and so we used to play that game together a lot. And I never got past the Shadow Temple because I was afraid of the Redeads, which, to be fair, they're terrifying. So
I can understand that. I as a Nintendo person, I'm not big into Zelda. The only Zelda game I've really played is Breath of the Wild, and that's
it's
like
the best one. So like you did it. You're there.
I just like to run around in the game. Like I don't like do stuff in it. I like to just run around and like
that's
sightsee.
The beauty of it.
It's like I'll just go over
and
here.
And it's such a pretty game too. That's like my favorite game of all time. It's just so pretty, and like everything about it is perfect, and I love it so much.
Now, out of curiosity, like what is it about the Zelda franchise that hooked you? Because there's a lot of Nintendo games. Zelda's a legacy, but just act.
Yeah. So I just in general am really into like anything that's like fantasy, like medieval-y looking stuff. So like I'm really into like the general aesthetic of Zelda games, because I also just generally like castles and princesses and stuff like that, and little elf boys, whatever. But all of that stuff I really like. And then I don't know why we got that game with the game. I think that might have just been the game that came with the GameCube when we got it. But like, I'm not 100% sure, but we liked that game so much that we ended up getting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess for the GameCube as well. And so, but yeah, I'm not really sure exactly like why we picked Zelda on the GameCube or like how it got there. I just remember playing it. But yeah, I'm just really into like everything about the aesthetic. And then like when I was a kid, like I liked the dungeon formula, and I know a lot of people who have only played Breath of the Wild like and then go back and play older Zelda games are like, what is this mess? Like, why can't you do stuff? Because it's like very, very linear. But like when I was like 9 and playing it, like I didn't like the concept of an open world game like wasn't really there. So like it was like a super cool game at that time. And yeah, it's just like I like solving the puzzles and like stuff like that. It's just fun.
It is. I always say I'm blessed with Twitch, like Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
Because I get to watch people play these games that I just can't play, and I've really got to experience people like beating Wind Waker or beating Breath of the Wild, and it's just so beautiful.
I've thought about streaming Ocarina of Time now that it's on like the Switch Online, because one of my best friends just likes to watch people play video games, and so with the like new Nintendo Switch Online service thing, you can like watch like your friend play. But like I'm not super good with technology, so like I don't know how to hook that up to Twitch. So that's where like the thing stops. But me and my friend have just been like, she'll call me and then we'll just talk on the phone while I play Ocarina of Time, because she's not interested in actually playing the game, because like the controls are kind of funky on the Switch, and like you know the graphics are like 1993 graphics, so like that's fair. But she's like, I've always wanted to like know what this game was about, but I don't actually want to play it myself. And I was like, well, I want to do a playthrough, so we should just do it together. So we've just been playing it together, and it's been really fun. And I've thought about like, I want to do that playthrough like with just her, but then like I'd like to do another one and like put it on Twitch, or like what I really want to do like publicly, like I might try to make like a YouTube video about this at some point, is like I still have my original Animal Crossing game and the memory card for it. So like my first ever like GameCube Animal Crossing town exists, and I know where it is. And so I really want to like do like a reaction thing where I like pull it up and then see what happened to my like poor discarded town.
I love Animal Crossing. I specifically because I was in college when the GameCube was out.
Yeah.
I bought the GameCube just for Animal Crossing
it's
in
a great
college.
Game. Yeah.
It's a wonderful game. It's a beautiful game. And I've played all but I think City Folk, which because it's on the Wii or the Wii U.
Yeah.
But I've had all the DS games. I've got New Horizons for the Switch. I absolutely love that franchise.
Yeah, me too. I had the GameCube one because there was a girl in my class who was like, "Hey, you should play this game," and I was like, "What is this?" And because the concept, when you're like, you live in a town with little animals and then you just do a bunch of random shit. It doesn't really sound like that appealing. But then when you play it, it's so cute and relaxing and nice. And like compared to New Horizons, like there really wasn't that much to do like in the original Animal Crossing. But I remember playing that for hours and like being like super excited to get on the next day and like see what was new because everything was new every single day. And like the GameCube villagers used to be so savage. Do you remember that? Like how mean they were?
That has been an ongoing discussion, like with between myself and like other Animal Crossing players, is that we miss the really wonderful conversations we used to have,
Yeah.
and how not I almost want to say like sometimes they're sassy or salty, like they could be
Yeah.
downright like mean to you.
Yeah, like I remember I was like I don't know, I was like 10 or 11 when I had that game and I remember um one of my favorite villagers and I'm not sure if it was Kiki the black cat who is my all-time favorite or if it was one of the dog villagers that we had at the time but had moved out and then Peanut the little pink squirrel moved in and like she's really cute, right? She was so mean to me when I was like a child that to this day, like she's in New Horizons and like she fits like my Animal Crossing aesthetic, but she is not allowed on my island because she was mean to me when I was a child. So like she can get, she's not allowed on my island.
I feel you on that because there are definitely characters from the GameCube version where I'm super attached to them, and when I see them, it makes me like have those feelings again. But then there's other characters where it's like I hated you back then.
Yeah,
and
you
were
remember
so
them like
mean.
being like super mean, and then now it's like, well, I still don't like you because of what you said to me like when I was 11. Yeah.
And I will say that I miss the music. I miss the different hours of music. Every hour changes something else, and like New Horizons doesn't really have that for me.
Yeah, I think that like the New Horizons music is okay, but like the like older Animal Crossing games I feel like had better music. I think New Leaf had like my favorite music. But when I was in college I used to just put like Animal Crossing music on to study because it's just like so chill.
Yeah, there's a ton of remixes out now. Like there's like lo-fi Animal Crossing and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. It's just really like it is like you said, just super chill, just wonderful to listen to.
Yeah. Who is your like all-time favorite Animal Crossing villager?
Oh my gosh, I'm embarrassed. Like okay, I'm not embarrassed. Okay, I'm taking that back because I love her. I loved her in Animal Crossing. It's Maple. I love Maple so much.
Oh, she's so cute.
So yeah, she was always like that villager, which I just got her amiibo card so that way I can move her to my Switch New Horizon island. Except
Yeah.
I rarely I rarely play it now, and it's like,
Well, you gotta play it just to put her in. Like, you gotta just move her in, and then, like, if you don't play after that, it's okay. At least you know she lives in your town.
exactly. See, you get it. And I love what they did, at least with like New Horizon and the creativity outside with like terraforming. Because
Yeah.
I've seen so many people's islands and the stuff that they do and create is just mind-boggling
Yeah,
sometimes
it's
of
like
what people
incredible.
make.
Like, every time that I feel good about my island, I just, like, look at other people's online and I'm like, oh, this is trash. But yeah, I'm like blown away every time that I see like what people are doing. And have you played like the expansion with the Happy Home Paradise?
I've played a few. I'm not like, again, it takes me time to like load up the Switch
Oh yeah.
and sit down and play it. But yeah, I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not like a super interior decorator person, but I try. I try my best.
Yeah, I've been playing like more of that lately than I have like the actual game because like I just, it gets a little old after a while. It's okay to admit that. But lately I've been like, I'll just get on and like do my chores really fast on my island. And like my actual island, I haven't done anything decor wise in months. But on Happy Home, I've done like 50 houses, and like they look like, I think they look pretty cute. But one of my favorite things about it is like the Happy Home network, where you can go and like look at what other people have done. And so like sometimes I get on there and like I'm like, what is this stuff? Like, what is going on here? But then like there's also like there's so many things that are just amazing, and I really like to go and look at other people's designs, because then it like gives me ideas for like stuff to do in my designs. And like there's so many different ways that you can customize like all of the items and like how you set them up. Like I think the possibilities are like endless. So I haven't lost like, you know, it's that part of the game is still like fun and interesting for me.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of curiosity, because
Yeah.
you know, Nintendo's got lots of stuff. Nintendo's always happening with new things. Is there any game that you're looking forward to coming out in the future, like this year?
Well, they just postponed it again, but Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes,
I think it got postponed to 2023.
I do believe that I believe that's accurate. I think
Yeah,
I saw that they pushed
ever
it
since
back.
the first trailer came out in 2019, I have been stoked. So like I am like, I can't wait. There's a lot of people online who are like, oh my god, they pushed it back again, like I hate this. And I'm like, yeah, but they're making it better, so like chill. Like from my perspective, I'm like, Nintendo, take all the time you need, just make it good. Go
Exactly,
ahead. Like we'll take it. I'll take it whenever you'll give it to me. But I just want it to be like good and well made. And the first Breath of the Wild is, I think, the best game of all time. So if it's anything like the first one, then I will be satisfied.
100%. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I haven't really done anything in my Breath of the Wild. I think my kids have done more than me. And you know,
Yeah.
that's totally cool for them.
Yeah, and that's what's
But
nice about Breath of the Wild is like you don't have to do anything. Like you can just leave Zelda there; she's fine. And like you can just go and like set stuff on fire and ride bears and stuff. Like if that's all you do, like that's okay. You had a good time.
exactly. Like, and you know, that's what I'm here for, is just to have a good time, you know, when I get to play my video games.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Disney and we got Nintendo,
Yes.
and you know, we're segueing into, probably again, you know, we're picking out like these really old fandoms, which
Yeah,
I'm
I'm into
digging.
like old fandoms.
Uh,
but
but
that's okay. It's
but
cool
the
stuff.
next one we're going to talk about is the Lord of the Rings.
My favorite.
Now, you said this is your first fandom obsession.
Yes.
Now, how did you get into the Lord of the Rings? Was it the books, the animated movie, or was it like the movie trilogy in the late 90s, early 2000s?
Peter Jackson movie trilogy.
Okay.
And again, it's going to be like dating myself here. I was at Blockbuster Movies with my family, and my dad picked out the Lord of the Rings. And because he was like, I remember reading these books when I was a kid, and I like everything fantasy and castles and stuff like that. So I was like, cool, I'm down. And then we watched it, and I was like, this is the missing piece of my life that I've been like, where has this been? I think that I was like, I don't know, I was in like junior high or something when I first watched it. But so I didn't watch it like right when they first came out, because as we mentioned with the redeads in Zelda that I was afraid of a lot of things when I was a kid. So like things in Lord of the Rings, like the like, you know, like the Witch King and like all the dead stuff, like that probably would have freaked me out when like they first came out. So I'm actually glad that I didn't see them when they first came out, because I think I would have been like too young to appreciate them for what they were, and I would have just been like, this is scary. So I'm glad that I watched them when I was a little bit older, and then I was just like, this is amazing. This is the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I've been chasing that high ever since.
Who is your favorite character in Lord of the Rings?
So I was obsessed with Legolas. when I was younger, and I still think he's amazing. I also really, really love Pippin, and Aragorn and Samwise and like pretty much the whole cast. But yeah, Legolas and Pippin were like my top two favorites. But I have an aspiration to cosplay like most of the elves from Lord of the Rings, because like the elves are like my favorite like race in Lord of the Rings, because like the aesthetic is just immaculate and everything about it is stuff that I like. And I also really, really love like what the design team did with hobbits, because it's just like it just oozes like cottagecore and it's so cute. And like I remember just really liking like the like that like specific fantasy aesthetic when I was younger. And actually, since we were just talking about Nintendo, you can like name your character in like the older Zelda games, like he didn't have to be named Link.
Mm-hmm.
And my Link in Twilight Princess was named Legolas because I was like, they're the same person.
That is awesome. Now, I'm curious because I haven't really ever heard somebody call out Pippin like that. What is it about Pippin that makes him like that top tier character for you?
Because he's adorable. Have you seen him? And he's like, oh no, ash on my tomatoes. Like, I love that. I just think he's so cute. And like, I don't know, there was just a lot of those like one-liner things that he said that like me and my high school friends used to like yell at each other a lot. So I think that was part of it. I also just think that like Billy Boyd is hilarious and fantastic, and he has an amazing singing voice. He is all around a talented man. But yeah, I don't know that there's not like a deep like character development thing there. I just think he's adorable.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Like when I heard Legolas, I was like, okay,
Yeah, Legolas is like a lot of people's favorite. So like that's yeah.
But Pippin very rarely do I hear like, in that slot of like top tier character.
Yeah, my brother and I actually had a bunny rabbit named Pippin for a while because we both liked the character so much.
Yeah, they are they're wonderful characters and wonderful actors all around in that franchise.
Yeah.
Now, out of curiosity, with the three movies, do you have a preference, like the one that you love over the other three or the other two?
So it kind of depends. I've been doing like every year or 2 years, depending on if I remember to do it. Like I rewatch the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've probably watched The Fellowship the most, just because I often will start a rewatch and then I don't finish it, because that's just how life goes. But I think I've seen that one the most. But I think either The Fellowship or The Return of the King is my favorite movie. But The Two Towers is my least favorite of the three.
How come Two Towers is the least favorite?
I feel like it's the one that like you couldn't just watch it by itself because it's in the middle, and like you could technically watch Return of the King without having seen the other two, and like because it like concludes everything. So like yeah, there's a lot of backstory that's missing, but like I feel like it is a contained story, and so is The Fellowship of the Ring. But like The Two Towers is like all of the middle plot.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I don't think that it like is a standalone film. And like obviously none of them are standalone films, because you should always just watch all of them ideally in one sitting.
Yes.
But
with extended editions.
With extended editions, commentary, we're making second breakfast, like let's do the whole thing in cosplay, let's go. But yeah, I don't know. I think probably my favorite would be The Fellowship of the Ring, just because like that one is like the most peaceful, because you get like so much of Hobbiton at the beginning, mm-hmm. where like before like everything like falls apart. So it's just like you get like that nice like it's just like a quaint little town and it's so cute. And that's like a good portion of the movie. And then, like, you know, Return of the King and Two Towers are a lot more like action filled. Although, what I do have to say about the Two Towers, even though I said it was my least favorite, the Helm's Deep like story arc, is like top tier, and also the Rohirrim have like the best music. So, you know, the Two Towers does have that going for it.
It does. It's got stuff going for it. But I totally agree about like it being in the middle. You can't just watch it.
Yeah.
I remember watching Fellowship in the theater, and of course, you know how it ends is how it ends, and people are like, "What do you mean that's it? Like, where's the rest of the movie?"
Yeah.
And it cracked me up because here I am, like having read the books and stuff. I'm like, do you not understand that there's like at least two more like there's two more movies to this?
Yeah, like I feel like and I mean, like, I didn't see them when they were in theaters, but like I feel like a lot of people like probably didn't realize that like this was a series. And like I think that a lot of like, especially like older series, like when they were first coming out, like when Star Wars first came out, like do you think people realized that that was like just a piece of the story? But like here they are calling it episode 4, and they're like, where are the first 3?
Right, exactly. And now we have debates in this current generation that we live in of, well, which one do you watch first? How do you watch that? Like, do you watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3?
Yeah,
Do you
so
watch it
you
1, 2,
can
3,
have
4,
the
5,
same
6?
debate
Like,
about Lord of the Rings. Like, if you're going to include the Hobbit movies, which, like, I know some people don't want to, which is fair. But, like, if you were going to watch, like, all the Hobbit movies and all of Lord of the Rings, like, which one of those do you watch first?
yeah, that is definitely. I don't know if I've heard that conversation before, because I know how well the Hobbit movies were
Yeah, not a lot
received
of
at
people are
times.
doing,
So
like, you know, let's watch the whole Hobbit trilogy and then all of the Lord of the Rings. I did enjoy the Hobbit movies, like, just watching them, but, like, I don't really think of them, like, the same way that I do Lord of the Rings. So,
totally, I totally feel you on that.
yeah.
And I think like for me with the Hobbit movies on this tangent is they had all these wonderful dwarf characters that
Yeah.
they didn't do anything with, and that made me
No,
sad
and
because
it's like you
they had great
expanded
character
this, like, the
designs.
shortest book out of this entire, like, you know, out of all of like Tolkien's work that he's written, like that's like the shortest book, and then they like expanded it to 3 movies, but then didn't like use any of the characters that like there was actually stuff about in the book. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I grew up watching like the old like the Hobbit animated movie. It's like
Yeah.
if you can tell me the Hobbit story in what 80 minutes, 90 minutes, come on
Yeah.
now, come on.
Yeah, like I think that it might have been a better movie if they had just done like one movie and not like added a bunch of like extra stuff in and then like
Hmm.
expanded it to 3, but they just wanted to make money off of it, and like, you know what, that's what film studios do, and that's okay. But one thing that I did really like about the Hobbit movies was like that they cast Benedict Cumberbatch as Smaug,
Yes,
because like that's just perfect casting. So I was like, you know what, for that, I'll applaud them. But there's a lot of other things that I was like, eh.
yeah. Now, are you looking forward to the Amazon Prime series that's coming up?
Absolutely.
I haven't watched anything. I haven't really looked at casting stuff. I'm trying to go in without seeing anything like that's my goal.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope that I can like dodge everything.
Yeah. I have seen like the little teasers that they've put on Amazon Prime, which they just released a new one, like very well at the time of recording this. It was very recent. There are probably going to be more by the time this episode comes out. But I'm from what I've seen, and I'm also like I'm trying to go into it like with like as I do want to watch the teasers and stuff, but I want it to be just kind of like show me what you got, like let me see. But from what I've seen so far, like I think that well, I know they spent a lot of money on it, and so far it looks like it was worth it. And I hope that it like actually ends up being that way, but we'll see.
Absolutely, fingers crossed on, because I know that they've already, they said, I think that they've already committed to at least another season, and this first season's not even
Yeah.
out yet. So, I just want it to do well. I
Yeah,
want
me
it to
too.
succeed.
Yeah, and like I've just what I have appreciated so far from what I have seen is like the attention to detail and like design, which is one of the things that I loved the most about the original trilogy is just how beautiful it is to watch. And like if it's anything like that, then I think it will be at least enjoyable.
Well, fingers crossed. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Um, there's so much content out there now. Like, I have to pick and choose what I watch, but it's on my
Yeah,
list. Like,
same.
it's high up. Like, okay, when it comes out, I gotta start watching it.
Yeah, my husband and I have already talked about. We used to do like Game of Thrones watch parties with like our friends, and we'd all like come over and like watch it like the day it came out. So we're already like starting to think about trying to do that like with our friends again, and like have like a weekly like watch the new episode thing.
Well, that would be wonderful, and have
Yeah,
like good
yeah,
crack that Lord
themed
of the Rings
snacks.
cookbook open.
Yeah.
Now, we talked fandom, but
Hmm.
the way that I came across you is that, again, like as I mentioned at the start, somebody had shared your cosplay from Encanto on their stories, and I clicked on it and I was like, oh, this person seems cool. Let me check out what you're into, and you're into like a bunch of different fandoms. But with cosplay, how did you get your start in cosplay? What's your origin story?
So, my mom loves to sew and is very crafty and is also interested in a lot of the same things that I am interested in, like Disney. And we have always done a lot of like crafting and just like stuff like that together. And when I was a kid, um, every year for Halloween, my mom would like take me to like the fabric store to like pick out like we'd go through patterns and we'd go through like all the fabrics and I would get to pick like whatever I wanted and then like anything that I could dream up that I wanted to be, then my mom would try to make it for me. And so then like as I got older, like I'm very interested in like design and like that was my career for a while as I worked as a theatrical costume designer. So like I used to make things for a community theater that I worked at, and like I just really like how clothes come together. I don't know if that makes sense. But I also am like super into fandoms, so it was kind of one of those things that it was just like this was bound to happen eventually. And probably like the first like cosplay that I ever put together was a Hogwarts uniform. And I did that for my first ever convention when I was in college. It was a convention at the college that I was attending. And one of my friends was like part of like the planning committee, and so she was like, hey, you should come to this thing with me, I think you'd really like it. And I had never been to a con before, and I loved it. And so I didn't get to do a whole lot of cosplay for a while. And then like once like I had like moved and then like I got to know some other people, like I found more people who were into it, and then I started going to more cons, and now it's just like my favorite thing. But yeah, it was mainly like my mom and how she liked to sew, and then like she taught me how to sew, and then I just liked to make things. So yeah.
Now, with the variety of characters that you have, is there a rhyme or reason to how you choose your characters? Is it characters that you love? Is it characters that you're like, hey, I really like that outfit that they're wearing, I want to do that? Is it a combination of both?
So it's kind of a combination of both. So like as we've already talked about a little bit, like I had mentioned like I was like I'm not going to cosplay Star, and then she had a narwhal dress, so I was like, well, I have to now. And like I told you, like Pippin is one of my favorite characters just because I think he's so stinking cute. And like a lot of the way that I choose favorite characters is appearance based. And so like I tend to relate to characters that look like me, and I tend to, like characters that are aesthetically appealing, and like I like things that are like, pretty colors or colors that I like. So if you scroll on my feed, probably like the majority of it is like redheaded characters wearing blue. And that's just like a color combo that I like. And I have naturally red hair too, so like I kind of tend to relate to characters who look like me, and I just think that they look really good in blue. So a lot of the characters that I pick are just because of the way that they look. But sometimes it's because I really love a character, or like because my friend is doing this character, so I'm doing this to go with them, or uh, I just really liked the outfit. Most of the time, like I don't want to discount anybody who does cosplay from like media that they haven't seen. I think that's totally valid. You can do what you want. I like to cosplay from things that I have seen, just because like I relate to the character more if I like know who they are and what they're doing. And I don't usually like to cosplay as a character that I don't like. So I have to like the character, and in order to like the character, I have to like have seen what they're from.
Totally understandable.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine with the, you know, your natural red hair, sometimes you don't have to like bust out a wig to you know, rock the cosplay.
Yeah, a lot of the time I do like to use my natural hair. It depends lately on how long it is, because I did cut my hair pretty short. And so actually in my Tia Peppa cosplay that you mentioned, that was the first one of mine that you saw. That is my natural hair, except for the braid is like I have like a hair extension, because that's like I have like red curly hair too. So like my hair, like I just look like her, but my hair is not long enough at this time like to actually braid. So I use like the top of her hair is my natural hair, but like the rest of it is fake.
Hey, that's totally fine.
Yeah, and it looked like really bad from the back, but I didn't wear it to a con. It was just like in, you know, my bedroom doing TikTok. So I was like, nobody's going to see the back of this anyway. It's just like, you know, like a ton of bobby pins trying to hold that braid in place. But, you know, nobody saw that part, so it's fine.
That's right. Exactly. It works. So who's your favorite out of like the cosplays that you've done? Which cosplay is your favorite?
So I have two for two different reasons. So the first one is Link, just because like Breath of the Wild Link is one of my favorite characters. Like just because I loved that game so much, and like that game just like really means a lot to me, and like the designs are so cool. And then Link is also a really fun character to cosplay because like everybody knows who you are. And like I really like to wear that cosplay out. That's probably the one that I've worn in public the most. And then my other favorite is Sansa, because that is like the costume that I think I put like the most effort into, and that like I think like showcases my skills the most. But those are probably my two favorites.
Okay. Is there a character that you haven't done yet that you're like, dang, I cannot wait to do this character?
So we've been talking about Lord of the Rings, and I have an aspiration to cosplay most of the elves from that movie. And we'll see, because like the plan in my head when we're like talking about this, recording this, is that I will have at least one of them done by September when the new show comes out. But by the time this episode airs, let's go check my Instagram and see how that's coming along, because I don't know if that's going to happen. But I really want to cosplay Legolas. I was Legolas for Halloween when I was like 16. And my brother was Gimli, and what's hilarious about that is my brother is 6'4". So, and I am shorter than him, so we had kind of an opposite height thing going on. But I made like a Legolas costume. Well, my mom made it, but I designed a Legolas costume when I was in high school, and I was like really proud of it. And looking back at those pictures, it was not my best work. But you know, like I did the best that I could with like, you know, no knowledge of like how to make things, and I had a blast. And I used like my own hair for it, and you know, no wig, you know, nothing like that. And I would really like to make that costume now like actually accurate to the movie, and like, you know, now that I like know how to make things and like, you know, I know how wigs work and stuff. I would like to make that again and like see how much I've improved in like, you know, pushing 15 years. So I would also like to make a Gimli costume for my brother, but he doesn't live in the same state as me. So I think like the odds of us actually getting that to work out would be difficult, but that's something that I'd like to do just so we can like recreate that photo because I think it would be hilarious. But I really want to do Legolas. One of my friends told me that, like, you know, based on my facial features, I resemble Galadriel. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. But I would also like to make her outfit because she's gorgeous and stunning. And I also want to make one of Arwen's outfits, but I'm not sure which one.
They're all like you talked about like the elves and their aesthetic and everything. Like, you know, when I close my eyes, I can see like the specific elves and the looks that they've going on. Like,
Yeah, and like just everything about it. And like I really love like seeing the differences between like the different kinds of elves. And so like that was one thing that I did really like about the Hobbit movies was like getting to see like the Mirkwood elves as opposed to like the Rivendell elves. Wow. Cut that part out, man. But like they're just so different in like how they look, but they both look like regal and elegant. And then like those ones compared to like the Lothlorien elves, like they're all different, but that yet they're like equally like magical and ethereal and stuff. And I just love everything about it. But that's something else that I'm looking forward to about the new show coming out is like I cannot wait to see the costume design, and I'm like already like planning ahead like which character do I want to cosplay. Like I don't even know who any of these characters are, but I'm like let me see you so that I can decide who I want to cosplay, because I'm probably going to pick at least one. If I get really into it, I'll do more, but I definitely want to cosplay like Legolas, Galadriel, or Arwen hopefully this year. I'm also working on another Zelda cosplay. So that one I was supposed to finish last year, but I didn't. So we'll see if I get it done this year. But I have made Zelda's like prayer dress that she wears in Breath of the Wild, like the white one with the gold jewelry. And I am working on her like her travel outfit.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll be done. That one I've at least like started, so we'll see.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever you create, because I enjoy the work that you do, the pictures. Like there's an Anastasia cosplay that you did, and there's like, I don't know if the video like you just like added the sparkles. I assume that's what you did.
Yes.
But it's just so neat. And then of course
Thank
like
you.
having like, you know, pets around for certain cosplays, like you know,
that's one of my favorite
nice.
things
like
to do is take pictures with my animals. And on my Instagram at the time of recording, there's quite a few pictures of two like kind of chunky chocolate Labradors. But those dogs belong to my parents, and I love them dearly, and they are super great for photo shoots and very sweet. But that was like one of my favorite things. Like my mom took the photos of me as Sansa with the dogs, and I was like, they're perfect. They're giant. They look like they could eat Ramsay Bolton. They would never because they're so sweet, but they look like they could. So I was like, please, while I'm like visiting, can we please get pictures of me in this outfit with your dogs? And now that I have a puppy, I really want to do like cosplay stuff like with my puppy. And I've taken photos with my cats before. Like I love having my pets around, and I want them to hang out and do cosplay stuff with me. And most of the time they don't mind. So yeah.
I could imagine like the cat lodging a protest and being like, no.
Yeah, so I tried to do just like a very simple home photo shoot. My husband looks exactly like Tombo from Kiki's Delivery Service, and we have a black cat. And so for several Halloweens in a row, we were Kiki and Tombo, and then we had our cat as Gigi, because we usually have a Halloween party at our house, so, the cat's just already there. Because I was like the only one who doesn't already look like that, so I was the only one who had to put any effort in, so it makes it really easy. And we just did like a quick couple of photos at our house, and I wanted a picture of like me like holding my cat, and like just the two of us, because we had some pictures of like me and my husband and the cat, and she was just like not having it, and she would let him pick her up and she would like sit nicely with him and just like pose pretty and like hang out. And it was like no matter how many treats I gave her, like as soon as I picked her up, she was like, let me go. And so I had to take pictures like sitting on the ground with her next to me, because she like didn't want me to hold her. And I was like, why? You let me hold you all the time. Like, why is it right now that I'm not allowed? But that's just how cats are. So I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'll allow it.
Exactly. Like, there's only so much you can do with cats before they're like, you know what?
Yeah,
I'm done with you.
And I have another cat who has not appeared in any of my cosplay photos, but she is little teeny tiny black and white cat, and she is precious. Her name is Nova, but she is not a fan of like participating in stuff, so I just don't make her. I'm like, you know what? You're precious. She loves to hang out with me while I work on cosplays, but she doesn't want to like sit for photos or do any of that or like wear things. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to make you do that. Like, you're adorable just the way you are. You just existing in my house is like, I'm blessed.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tara, for people that have listened and they're like, dang, I need to go check out what you do, whether it be on, social medias, where can they go and find you and see what you do? So
I am most active on Instagram and TikTok, and my username on both Instagram and TikTok is CosplayWithTLC. It is all one word.
And I'll have the links to those in the show notes and on the Facebook page and website. So if you're listening and you want to check out Tara and what she's doing, click on the links. Make sure to hit the follow button and comment and like and do all the things, because that's how exposure happens with these algorithms. And my feelings for the algorithm. So, go do what I ask you to do, please. And Tara, thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to come hang out with me and talk about your favorite stuff.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you for saying yes. Like that's always the thing that I always get a kick out of, is like, who's going to say yes?
Well, I really appreciate the invite. This has been a ton of fun, and I am happy to do this anytime you want.
Thank you for listening to Tales from the Fandom. Subscribe to us on iTunes or your podcast app of choice. Follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/talesfromthefandom to see photos, links, leave feedback, and check out upcoming guests. If you'd like to be a guest, email David at talesfromthefandom@gmail.com.